Trustee Franklin,
Present.
Trustee Bolden,
Present.
Trustee Lewis,
Present.
Mayor Rudez.
Present. Okay, no pledge of allegiance, so I'm going to start off with our disclaimer. Pursuant to
Excuse me, Mayor, but for the record, can both I be noted on this meeting for purposes of what's going on, and the attorney Steve Miller, please?
I don't know who Steve Miller is. Sounds like a band, but it's Attorney Joe
Excuse
Miller.
me, Joseph
Yeah,
Miller.
but no.
Joseph Miller, excuse me.
That's okay, that's okay, Miss Ernestine.
We do. We know you're there. This is our
I'm
call.
looking
Your
at
attendance is
something
required.
from Metro. I'm looking at something from Metro.
All right, let's go. All right, let's go on. All right, pursuant to Governor Pritzker's Executive Order 2027, COVID-19 Executive Order Number 5, which suspends the requirement of the Illinois Open Meetings Act requiring an in-person attendance by members of a public body during the duration of the gubernatorial disaster proclamation. The members of the village board will not be physically present for the designated board meeting, but will instead be participating in the meeting through audio access using a virtual meeting platform. Public comments may be submitted in advance of the meeting to Village Clerk D. Jones at djones@university-park-il.com or by text message to Village Clerk at 708-473-6201. All comments must be received by 5 p.m. the day before the meeting. Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have general public comments?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we're at your pleasure. You can start, ma'am.
Okay, the first public comment is from Mr. Gregory Box. It states, the board is continuing to meet virtually. All the surrounding villages are not. Why is that? Is the mayor afraid of citizen backlash of how the village business is being conducted? In parentheses, Amazon, Carvana, especially with paying $49K per month for a golf course and no revenue coming back? Is the Board of Trustees afraid to ask the village manager's resignation? We, the people, are watching. Signed, Gregory Box, resident of University Park. That's the first public comment. Second public comment is by Ms. Sherelle Jackson. Good evening, Mayor and Board. Thank you very much for delivering such a wonderful opportunity as Carvana in our community. I understand the importance of establishing a local economy. I also applaud your Board of Trustees that support the businesses that you brought into the community. It's teamwork and a business-minded board that's making progress like I've never seen before. After all, I've been here for 49 plus years, and now I am finally proud to say this community is long overdue for the progress being made. Please stay strong, be encouraged, and stay the course. I pray that those board members who whisper horrendous things about our mayor and Board of Trustees just stop the lying and the rumors in the community to divide us. Just stop. We need consistency in our leadership for growth. Sincerely, Sherelle Jackson. It's time out.
All right.
Mayor, that will end the public comments.
Okay. All right, item 5.1A, discussion of resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement by and between the Village of University Park and the Ontario Group LLC Abbott Lane Reconstruction Project. Are there any questions regarding Abbott Lane getting completely reconstructed and fixed up? Council, it's on you guys.
Missy, can you go ahead and dive into that?
Okay, what it is, we in fact had requested that the engineer prepare specifics on it. Initially, when we did a preliminary inspection, we found sinkholes, we found areas where resurfacing would not hold. In other words, it's putting a bandage over something that needs surgery. So what we had to,
For the potholes, right?
pardon
I mean,
me,
like if we filled like a pothole, they wouldn't hold.
yeah, some of them are potholes, they're actually sinkholes. They
Okay.
below the width of the concrete, the asphalt. They go below the width. There are some houses where we're afraid that if people go over them, and there's some we've had to put cones around, but we were able to resurface them enough. We've circumvented people from using them. We're at an issue right now that the street is becoming a public liability. So we had to have the engineers to do some estimates on drawings, what exactly has to be done, and then come back with some estimated costs so that we know exactly. When we first started out, the first year I came in 2019-20, there was some preliminary estimates just from windshield inspections. But now we need to be specific because we need the money. We have to do the bidding. So that's the purpose of this. The engineer, we sat down and we had coordinated meetings, and we had public meetings, and we had drive-through, ride-throughs, and we finally come back with pictures, comprehensive plan outlining what has to be determined in terms of rehab or reconstruction. This is the worst street in the Village of University Park financially. It is the worst street. Contrary to popular belief, Abbott Lane is the worst street per lineal foot in the Village of University Park.
And the scope of this was $250,000.
Actually, it was more than that, trustee. It's more than that. But trustee, we'll ultimately have to put it to bid. So publicly, I don't want to put our opinion in the public sentiment. They're going to do the report and they're going to bring it back, and I share the reports with the trustee before we actually gather the money to let it for bids. We just don't want the public to know what the estimates are, and then it no longer becomes competitive.
No, I'm not talking about the estimates. I'm talking about the costs that we had to take care of that's in front of us.
Oh, that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. I'm talking
Yes.
about the market no better than that.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, sir.
no better than that. You ain't getting me in trouble. I ain't going to jail. No, let me quit playing. Look, listen. So listen. So Miss E, from what I'm reading here, how far down? It looks like they gotta go far down. This looks like it's unavoidable. But did we not discuss this after we did Farm View? Or was this what you was talking about? Because I think we got another one on here, right? Or is it just
we have two? This is one of two that I was talking about.
Okay.
And Amherst.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, this is okay. I see what you're saying. On page 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So would this be something that, I guess, let me find the question for this, because I'm looking at alternative 1 and alternative 2, Miss E, and if the trustees want to know, is page 20 if you're in your on your pad, page 20 if you're looking right on your sheets, but it's page 2 of the arterial group when they were given it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the major decision. I think if we do both of them, because I know those people on Abbott, they're about ready to choke this whole board if they tear up one more car.
Well, man, they should have been choking the boys before us because we taking care of it.
But trustee.
We're not sitting still.
But trustee, when we get to the second one, I'll do my explanation of the second one.
Okay. Because
this is the worst. And
Okay.
I'll discuss the second one and answer the question. I can almost imagine what your question is going to be. So we can come to the second one and I'll explain that as well. But
okay, because the only thing, the reason why I asked is that I noticed that we have two alternatives on here. One that would probably last 10 years and then one would last 25 years. And I just want to make sure that before we even, because that's the, you know, I'm a firm believer that when you spend money, it's almost like doing a repair on a house. You know, Ms. E, if you remodel that house, you're going to remodel the house according to, you know, you all not going to buy no cheap cabinet. Let me go there. You're not going to go get a cabinet that's not going to last. And I see based upon here, if we got to go deeper, it's going to be more, but it's going to benefit almost to 25 years.
yes. And then let me just say something too. We got to put something in writing because what we're finding, and I'm finding on most of the streets, there is a business in this community that assists in tearing up the streets, and then they don't go back to repair them. So we're going to have to enter in some kind of agreement that we're going to be discussing with the attorney, that when this vendor tears up the streets, they're going to have to return the streets in the state of repair as they found it, regarding, because as it right now, we may have the streets in great order and with a concrete surface, they go in, they tear the streets and they come back and attempt to repair with asphalt.
We all know who they are.
I'm not saying who it is, Mayor. I'm hoping everybody knows who I'm referencing.
All you gotta do is look behind you and see what's behind Brooks's head. All you gotta do is look behind him.
They tearing it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I got a little.
I'm just looking at your water tower.
Oh, okay. Got it.
We got to develop some kind of agreement because
Right.
we're throwing our good money after bad money if we continue to pay for this and it's not repaired based on the way we find it. And that's creating a problem.
And is that also including the caved in sewers and everything on those streets? Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought that up because you actually, both of you were just reading my mind on the next question here on alternative number one. When it came to them storm pipes, I guess they would do it as part of the work, but I mean, Aqua should, I don't want to say their name, but that company,
please.
When we start pulling up those sewer pipes, why that company can't handle that?
Trustee, we're gonna develop a legal agreement. So you got the concerns, as you know, those calls, we got those concerns.
Because the reason why I say that, and you have a great point, because apparently engineers do have it here in this report about the broken castings and how the drainage needs to be improved. But it's just, and I agree, the mayor did make a good point. Like over here, we just had the streets patched. Now we're out here with like how many tons of rocks because they had fixed it. And I'm looking here and yes, Miss E, if we can also add in there in the agreement, because I see it here that it's emphasized at least twice, actually in both writings. I'm still on page 2 that they need to be replaced. So if anything, if we can, and from there I'm gonna yield my time, but those were the main things that I really have an issue with because they are And actually, I'm looking at the pictures. Here it is. We're steady patching around it with the, and it's not, it's the village is actually hurting us more than it's helping us.
And this is one of the few towns that I've seen that the accent has not been on the fulfillment of massive, what they call in the industry, a bituminous base. And we need to look at that. That's why alternate 2 would be more than likely. But I asked him to basically give 2 options so that you all could see the differential there.
Okay. All right. I'm finished with my part. I don't see anything else. If we can just make sure, Ms. E, that we add in there about that, because I feel at the state that we are at, we got to have that in that agreement. And really, to be honest, I feel that they should pay more of it than we do. You know, I mean, how many calls, Ms. E, you getting every day about, what was it, like 10 breaks? So that's about 10 holes that you had to fill last week. And like, I think one of them the one over here was at 4 a.m. So yeah, when we start talking about this amount of dollars and they got to go on the street, I think we need to start speaking about replacement first, especially to those residents on Abbott, because if their street is looking like that, I can imagine what their lines are looking like underneath. I yield my time, Mr. Mayor.
Anybody else have questions regarding Abbott? If not, item 1B, discussion of resolution approving and authorizing the execution of an agreement by and between the Village of University Park and the Antero Group LLC for Amherst Lane reconstruction project.
Thank you, Jesus.
Question, trustee?
No, I just said, thank you, Jesus. But
Amherst, believe
Give
it
us
or not,
a brief narrative, manager, a brief narrative.
Very quickly, I'll make it brief. It's the second one. Based on, it's the second worst street in town.
Amherst is.
Amherst is. And we're gonna do them based on down the line. And we've gone through it. We've been through every street in University Park.
I know.
Every street in University Park, trying to prioritize them. Second worst.
so go into a little more detail on Amherst.
She told me to be brief.
I didn't tell you to be brief. This is my street. You gotta go into more detail here. Just like you did Abbott, go into a little more detail over here on Amherst, please.
Mr. Mayor Board, first of all, Amherst, the street itself, they have some sinkholes like Abbott. They don't have as many, but they have sinkholes. These are only 2 streets in town where sinkholes exist.
Big sinkholes.
And that's serious. If someone get caught in a sinkhole, it's almost similar to what may happen when you've seen situations in town when people or cars go below, they go subsurface, then you wonder how they get there or how these gets there. At the base, under the base, it's eroding under the base. This is where you can visually see if you stand over, and most folk are kind of scared to get too close. If they get too close, who's to say they won't be a part and parcel of what may happen? But it's the point now, rather than equipment and or any other things, putting citizens' life at risk, that I think it's in the best interest of the village to get these 2 streets repaired. And 10 of them have got to be investigated. We have the Antero Group have engineers, specifically, you call them street engineers, you can call them asphalt engineers, you can call them whatever, but they do nothing but these kinds of things, assessments of conditions of roadway. They have a specific one that they are attaching to us. They're coming back and they're going to address every one of these sections in the agreement, and they're going to submit a comprehensive report. to the village. But now is the time to do this because we can have an opportunity to have this done and be able to let it for bids during certain portions of the year when the bidding is more competitive and is not as much. So is that short enough, Trustee and Mayor?
That's good. And a note also that this street hasn't been done since like 80, 81, 82 time frame.
82.
Was it
82.
82? Right.
We did all the homework and yeah, we talked to some of the residents. The manager and I, we rode down the street. We barely were able to get off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Miss
So,
Missy,
Mr.
it don't have the proposed project limits on there like it do for Abbott.
Pardon me?
I don't see the memo for the proposed project limit in there.
It's very similar. It's very similar. I don't know, it should be in there. Hold on. We did Abbott that way because of the extent of what had to be done. But if you notice, if you let me see the page that's in here to reference to.
Yeah, I think what he's saying, Miss Ernestine, is that for the Abbott one, it had two kind of
Gave you
alternate.
two alternates, right?
Right.
This one, I don't think it did, but I took that to mean just because there was only one type of work. And I do want to confirm, just for purposes of the recording and for the public in the minutes, that based on the first one, there was consensus of the board to move forward for the next meeting. And I want to make sure that there's a consensus on this one as well. So that's all.
Thank you.
Yeah. It is for me. It is for me. And Missy, you said it wasn't in there though, right? But it's the same.
It's basically the same. And I'm looking at this and it's basically the same. They'll have when you get the reports, it'll show the alternate when you get both reports. They're all the same simultaneously, but the only difference is cost and to the extent one has to do over the other.
Okay. Would it be cheaper only because correct me if I'm wrong, sure, your street is shorter than Abbott.
Absolutely.
So it should be a little cheaper, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because Abbott goes from Blackhawk all the way almost to Western.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And this one, Amherst curves around.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little different. Right.
Yeah. If they have one, I just like to see it. It's not important. It's not a priority. I kind of had an idea because if I'm not mistaken, I think we did one before on Elmhurst.
Yeah, I provided you all an extensive report.
Yeah, we have it.
To justify this about maybe 4 months ago.
Mhm.
Okay.
Extensive report on Am.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in agreement for this next meeting.
All right. So the item 1A and 1B we're moving forward with.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's go on item 5.1C, a discussion and ordinance authorizing the acquisition of and approving a purchase and sale agreement for the real estate commonly referred to as Lot F1 Bond Street and Governor's Highway, University Park, Illinois 60484. Okay, this is the donation of land for the public safety building on the west side of the tracks on Bond Street, right down, is that the Gateway Industrial Park sign, Manager E? Right down on Bond Street, yep. No south of Speedway gas station on Governors.
Thank you.
Mhm.
South of the
South on Governors. On the west side of the street.
Out from Governors.
and so for this, Madam Village Manager, we're just discussing just getting that property right. We're not talking about exactly what we're gonna do with the building itself, right?
With the property?
Yeah, I mean, I know we understand, but we're not talking about like no details of doing it. We're just saying it's okay to get it or.
Yes, right now, yes, because we love to use this land for what we're trying to do. And this is a great first step because if they see that we're moving towards it, this is the first step. It's very difficult to convince people what you want to do when you don't have any land to put it on. So this is like the first step.
And it's important that as we grow to ensure that we have public safety and first responders on both sides of the tracks to serve our residents and serve our industrial park. Lord forbid, if there's a train that comes and we have to have all of the response come from the east to the west, we'll be in bad shape. So, yeah. Well,
I didn't know the trustee was asking that question. I was waiting for him to explain that totally. I wanted to give a full report on that, but this meeting specifically was for the donation of the land.
So Miss E, is it gonna be on that corner, on that
west corner going into the Gateway Industrial?
Yeah, so northwest corner?
Southwest.
No, southwest corner.
Southwest.
Southwest.
Coming south on Governors, and then where you enter in on Bond Street, where it's Gateway Industrial Park, there's a parcel of land.
Make it right up in there, southwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can pull out. Okay. And that's how many acres? 7?
Yeah.
It's about 7.1 acres, trustee, to be exact.
Okay, and this part of that agreement. Okay. I yield, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Anybody else? We'll proceed on with this one. Consensus?
There is a cost involved, so you'll know what it is. And we're gonna
spill out anything now. If there's anything involved, spill it all out.
What it's gonna cost us $1.
Yeah. Thank you.
You could have kept that.
Thank you. You had everybody at full attention when you said it's gonna be a call.
Right. Everybody looked up.
It was intense. All right.
Before we move forward, can I just give credit where credit's due? I think these first three items is nothing to sneeze at. When we talk about Abbott Lane and we talk about Amherst, and these haven't been repaired since before I was born. I'm excited to be a part of a board that's getting these type of things taken care of. You know, it's a lot of people out there that criticize us and say we're not doing things, but these are things that have been neglected for so long. So I just want to make sure that you know that this is nothing to sneeze at, man. These streets are in bad shape, and we made sure that we're listening to the residents and making these priorities to get taken care of. So I just want to give credit where credit's due to the board and the village manager and the mayor for being diligent about these issues and making sure that we are moving forward and getting these things done. So I just want to, put that in perspective. This is something that I'm excited to be a part of, having family and friends that live on these blocks. And this is something that's been neglected for so long. And it's exciting to know that we're coming to some type of resolution to getting these things done. I yield my time.
I concur.
Me too.
All right. So we're going to move item 5.1C forward. Let's go to item 5.1D, discussion an ordinance amending section 1460-04 of chapter 1460 of the Building and Housing Code to add a definition for enclosed structures or space and to add new subsection 302.10 entitled Grills and Grilling, and new subsection 302.11 entitled Storage under the 2006 International Property Maintenance Code for the Village of University Park. This ordinance is presented for second and third reading. I can kind of remember this some time ago. So are there comments, Trustee Brooks? Do you have any participation in something like this? I think this came up in 2016, 17, maybe.
I don't remember it, and I guess actually that's what I was going to ask you. Did you remember it? Because I don't ever remember seeing it, and we're not raising no alarms. I just see when I seen David Savier's name, he had to be the village manager. And I think on the bottom I see Al McCowan, so it had to be something old. But I see it as first reading only, and I see moved by Rudez, second by Griffin. So I didn't know if this was something that was not finalized. I was a little confused, but I figured
it never got finalized.
Oh, okay.
It
Okay.
never got finalized, but the
They just
conversation,
they had the first reading and then looks like it was tabled
it got tabled, and I mean tabled, it got put
and
to
never
sleep.
brought back to.
Was never approved, never.
Right.
Never approved.
So the discussion basically is regarding about grilling on the front of your property.
Please.
Barbecue grill.
That's basically what the ordinance was about, because the ordinance was intent was to not allow that, but somehow it got tabled and stalemated. But as we go through our ordinance and upgrade our laws and stuff, we need to start looking at things. This kind of jumped right out as this was a recommendation from our code enforcement department. So what's everybody's thought about this?
So my question was, can I be recognized?
Yeah, yes.
My question was, and I think you probably just answered, who would enforce this? The code enforcement?
Yes. Yes, that would be definitely a code violation.
Okay.
Very quickly, trustee,
Uh-huh.
citizens were calling in, and it was a shock to me, was calling in. The village has a lot of ordinances, and I'm still reading, reviewing, whatever. So both Ms. Van Arsdale and Mr. Rawl filled our ears with this. I could not believe that it was nothing confirmed on the book that would adversely affect. So, and these people that were calling in were complaining, and the value of the property in University Park is going up.
Right.
When the value goes up, it's these kinds of things when people are buying and know that we have these kinds of laws that's allowing them to grill on their sidewalk in the front lawn. It was nothing our guys can do but to say, could you please move that grill to the back? And they said, we don't have a law. There's nothing. So this was something the village has to look at, because we're looking at housing development, right?
We're looking at upgrades.
These kinds of things in place. So this, when I found out that, and we were informed, and trustee, you all know that it was on the books, but it was never passed. It was time for the village to be resurfaced.
Absolutely. Yes.
So that was the whole intended purpose.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I'm seeing the word wooden porches, patio, and balcony crossed out. Was that something back then that, and then I see storage of recreational equipment and other movable equipment, including but not limited to barbecue grills. I can't see, what was it? HIB, habit, I don't know, patio furniture.
Hibachis.
Hibachis.
I think that's what that was, yeah.
Yeah. Fire
Okay.
hazards, basically, on
Yeah.
a wooden patio.
Yeah, they could catch fire. I can see that, yeah. On anything wooden porch, patio, or balcony, if it's wooden,
Well,
that's why it was scratched out.
but no,
That probably
so
would be
And
for
then,
condos.
no, just so you guys understand what this is saying. So what it was actually doing, it was taking out, so before
Right.
grilling was prohibited on those areas, but now with it being crossed out, that means someone who had a patio or a balcony or wooden, essentially a deck in their backyard would be able to grill on that. I mean, it's clear that it says it's on the rear yard only. So I think the way I read that is that they are not allowed to grill on in any front yard, their driveway, since wooden porch, patio, or balcony is removed. So if they had let's say you're in a townhome, or let's say you're in a
Mhm.
condo building and you had a balcony, they're allowed to grill on the balcony if that's
So-
crossed out. Just be aware of that.
So,
Oh.
so Attorney Miller, I think the intention of that was, and I don't know if I can remember correctly, I think that the permissible use on a patio or balcony would have been per electric grill and not anything containing fire. And I think that's what made it go on and never brought up again.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to make sure you guys understand the way that
Could it be
reads.
specifically for like a hibachi or a George Foreman grill for a person who lives on a patio that's electric, opposed to something that you're actually lighting charcoal and things of that nature?
And
Right.
where do you? Yeah, I mean, where do you see? And I'm missing it. Where does it say the hibachi part? Did I just not print the right?
Further
email?
down.
It's down on the storage.
Oh, okay.
30211.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's.
Yeah,
right.
but I mean, they couldn't stir it. I mean, it's a different section. So I guess the question is, here's the question I have for you guys. If you want to prohibit grilling on the wooden porch, patio, or balcony, then that should not be scratched out. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying. It's
Well, we'll unscratch it then.
okay. So that, and I'm fine with that. I just want to make sure you guys understand what's this way this reads. So,
Glad
Okay.
you explained it, because I thought it was because of fire. Thank you.
and that's usually there, like, some places do prohibit it on, like, especially on balconies.
Mhm.
Like if most in the city of Chicago, for example, if you're in those high rises downtown, most of those ones with balconies, you are prohibited from grilling on those balconies.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's generally the way it is. So that does make sense. So that, now patio, like usually someone in their backyard, it just depends. So that's why I just want to make sure it's clear what you guys want.
Okay, yeah, we want that back in the mix.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
I'm looking here on. So for houses that basically we want everybody grilling in the
Rear.
In the
rear.
backyard. Yep.
Not
Okay.
on the side, in the rear, if you got something.
Park, anywhere but out there.
Mhm.
Are we having it a lot? Like, is it more the reason? I guess I would ask the question, Trustee Lewis, like towards your area where they have balconies, like, is it?
So
and the reason
what-
why I say that because it's like condo type of housing. So
So we can't grill on the balcony. We can grill in the driveway only. That's what the association allowed us to do, because grilling on the balcony with the gas grill, with the fire grill, is a hazard. So they moved us to the driveway
okay.
And that's your home
because
association.
we don't have a backyard or anything
Right.
like that.
So I guess, yeah. So then I guess that would be that's what I'm looking around, like, how do we look out, Mr. Attorney Miller, how would we use the language for that for those homeowners over in that area? Because we have a driveway here.
An area
Yeah.
similar to that.
Yeah. So, and here's what I suggest. Why don't you guys, you can move it forward, but whoever's your code enforcement official, let's get clarity from them on that, because it does say grilling is prohibited, meaning you can't do it on any front yard, driveway, and, garage. Obviously a garage, you understand, because that's an enclosed space. The street, sidewalk, but it does say driveway is prohibited. So it may be that you want, and it could be just an error. Maybe what you want to make sure is that the balcony is crossed out, but that balcony is not crossed out, but the driveway is crossed out, so that someone could do that on the side. You may just need to, whoever's your code official, you want to make sure that they're, because if Trustee Lewis and her neighbors don't have a backyard, and it seems like in their
There needs to be a
homeowner
clause.
right,
There
you need
should
to
be a
make
clause
sure.
in there somewhere
Now,
where if you're
Right.
living in a condo.
Attorney Miller,
Yes, ma'am.
we've found that out later on, what Trustee Lewis is saying. We found that out later on. And in particular, one of the concerns came as a result of people barbecuing in homeowners associations, and the people were complaining as well. So what we're gonna have to do, we can't stop them from utilization, but it's gonna be based on homeowners association. But we found out that none of the homeowners association allowed them to barbecue on balconies. So we know
That's true.
Right.
We know
Yeah,
that. So
I understand that, but
let
understand
me
what I'm
finish.
saying.
Okay, I understand you. Let me finish what I'm trying to say here. And that is that if the homeowners association are delegating them to use their specific driveways, then we will change our ordinance to reflect in where homeowners association, and we can work out the language later, where
Yeah.
homeowners association have designated barbecue areas in specific driveways, it's allowable under this ordinance or something to the effect. And we'll work language with y'all on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just want to make sure you guys, my only reason for bringing it up is I want to make sure you understand what what this actually says.
Yes.
So, based on what this says, in theory, because they have balcony crossed out, someone could be allowed to, if you approved it as it is, they wouldn't be allowed to grill in their driveway, but they would be allowed to grill in their balcony.
On their balcony.
Right. So balcony should not be crossed out, and maybe driveway should be crossed out. However you guys want to do it, just make sure when you approve it at the next meeting that it reflects what you really want it to reflect. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Can we move it for a second reading at least then, or?
Well, let's concur with code enforcement and let's see what code enforcement and let them take their template and get it to the attorneys. And
Okay.
then when we get it on the agenda, then we can see how we can dissect it if deemed necessary.
Yeah, because one thing that I have an issue with, and I've seen it here, and I've seen it when I was working the streets. You got some people here, they don't live here anymore, and those who travel down Blackhawk, it was one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking? You know what I'm about to say, right?
I know exactly. Garage wide open, 3 grills going on.
Right, and just I've seen that, and then I've seen it where they literally barbecuing on the sidewalk, and it's like, well, why would you pull the grill all the way out and then
backyard?
Yeah. Well, here's worse. The backyard grass is taller than they need.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Although summer is almost over with, I would like to say that although I have seen neighbors on this side of town where they do have the grill by the garage, because when it's over with, they'll store those high quality grills. They don't have a storage house to put it in the back. So what they do is that once they're finished grilling, they bring the grill inside, and mostly those are the bachelors that live over here. They once the grill cools down or whatever the case, and they get the coal out, they'll push the grill back into the garage. So I was taking that into consideration, but also I've seen tons and tons before where you're patrolling down the street and someone, out with the music, got the grill next to the car, and they're barbecuing in the middle of the sidewalk on the 4th of July. So we kind of want to balance out. That's why I was asking Attorney Miller, how would we balance that language, with that? Because they still around the driveway area, if you get what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I think we just gotta. I think as Ms. Ernestine said, we get with your code enforcement official, see how they suggest it, and then we can kind of go from there, because it sounds like there's some variables here.
And the fire
department, absolutely.
Yes.
Let's make some progress on this one. All right.
Okay.
51E, manage E, discussion procurement for property and casualty insurance broker.
Yes, the time is up for the brokerage for property and casualty. Come November 1, the time is going to be up for the brokerage for the health. So what we're attempting to do here is to procure the services as we've been doing every year. We put notification out that we are procuring services for those areas, but the village has come a long way in 2 years. When the village when I first came with the village, we had a problem getting insured. We were self-insured. If some of you were around, we were self-insured. Had it not been for brokers, we wouldn't have been insured. So getting brokerage or having brokers are crucial to the delivery of insurances for property and casualty. And then subsequent to this, I'm coming back for brokerage for health insurance.
So Ms. E, you're saying that we're not gonna have, well, actually, correction. When I came here in 2017, we didn't have no insurance.
Okay, see, I'm
Yeah,
just
when
talking
I
from my
came here-
perspective. Okay.
Yeah, when I came here, and I'm not afraid to say it, we were holding our breath that nobody didn't break an ankle or a building caught on fire, because there you go. Just, yeah, Miss Kelly can tell you, we had nada, if you understand Spanish. But we're getting rid of Cliff Taylor because ever since we got Cliff Taylor, I mean, he's done the best that we can. And also, I went and when I seen this, I dug up actually a lot of things here in the
But trustee,
yes,
hold on
ma'am.
for a second. See, that's what everybody has jumped the gun on this. Because Mr. Taylor asked to come speak at the meeting. I was under the impression that I was doing, after the first year, what I'm getting ready to do again. We did it coming in, and we got to do it this go round. Now, if the board opts to get who they want in, that's their option, but I'm doing what I'm doing. I mean,
So we get rid of Cliff Taylor. That's what you're saying.
Well,
Because the reason why I say that, Miss E, is because you know, I'm getting to the point that I think that every time we get to close to the end with something, you know, we always, if it's not broke, why fix it?
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
With trustee, you know, at one time, we didn't have any choices. And our bond rating was bad. And like you just stated that you did not have any insurance. It's not individual. So now we're in the position to shop the market to get the best bang for our buck.
Well,
And as an insurance guy myself, I know that we can do better in the
but
market.
he's not going to be omitted from this process.
wait, hold on.
Right.
no,
Miss
wait, hold
Stewart.
on.
And I don't understand.
Man,
No,
you sold insurance.
Pardon me?
Aflac, still do.
is that municipal?
Yes.
Well,
It's municipal.
look,
So what,
We got
So-
conversation.
so let me
And
say,
an insurance agent can,
question, may I ask a question?
yes, ma'am. Trustee.
Okay, my question is this. If it's not broke, why fix it?
That's right.
If the man
Yep.
has came into play and saved the day and knew the, you know, and has really helped this village out for many years,
Yes.
why are we trying to change what we're doing right now? Because we got, you know, our bond rating is increasing and different things like that. But he is 20 years doing this. He's experienced. You don't think he can, you know, we can't ask him for a lower premium when we've did three claims this year. So we have to be realistic.
I mean,
So
it
I
sounds
mean,
like,
you know, and then we always promote, and what I'm trying to understand is we always promote Black business. This
Yes.
is what we do.
Mhm.
We promote minority business. This
Mhm.
is a minority power couple.
Mhm.
And what are we gonna do? We're gonna kick them to the curb.
Yep.
Not only do they do insurance, they do children.
Yep.
This is what they do. This is what we want to represent us. And not only that, he's been a good partner with our village. He's helped us with different outings and different things like that, donated things to our community and our village. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? And now that we feel that we a step above, we just turn our back on them and walk away. Does that make sense?
Well,
And he's everywhere in the Southland area.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we want to embrace something that we know that is working and we know that it's prosperous and we know that it's good for something that we may not know about? Another insurance man is going to come in and sell us a pitch. We already know what he's going to do because he showed us.
You all, let me just say something. Please let me say something here. If you all want to do what you want to do, but I sold insurance. The reason why Cliff is still here is because we went through A and Z. Cliff is good. So I would never say anything negative about Mr. Taylor. He's a good insurance agent. That's not what I'm trying to say. Now, whatever you all decide to do as a board, to do what you do. Last year, Mr. Cliff was renewed. We did the same thing, but he renewed. We did the same thing with the company we have carried, but this year, everybody got whatever, and we made a mountain out of a molehill. Now, you all decide if as a board, deciding that you want to continue, then fine. But there are other companies, they know when our expiration dates are, like was last year. Cliff had
but Miss E,
last year.
But Miss E,
Had a competitor last year, but we went with him again.
16 companies. Cliff is our broker. There were 16 companies that were quoted for University Park. 8 of them declined us, and he was able to get four that he recommended and gave to us. And not only that, and that's the paperwork he gave us. Not only that, I have to say, I've known Cliff since he was a young man in Harvey, and his mother made history, and she passed away in Harvey. And they have a foundation. And when I say foundation, these kids, I spoke at it and didn't even know they have kids and they send them to college.
Yes.
And so he is a positive influence. He have a lot of our kids from Creek. He have a lot of kids from 227. And not only that, he sacrificed for University Park. I just think when this shouldn't even be a thought. It comes to insurance. Cliff came in. When I came in here, I'm telling you now, the third meeting, Mayor, you said it was only one Excedrin good enough for me, and I took 2. We were left with a headache.
I don't like $25,000 per building deductible. It's not personal with me, with anybody.
It's our fault. It's our fault. The reason.
But now we're in a better position. That's what I'm saying. So
but right here, I can't show. Can't see it.
I mean, $25,000.
Do me a favor, please don't put this out there. If we can discuss that please, let's not discuss this portion in the public. But I just say, Mr. Taylor is great. I don't have any problems with him. So, I mean, you're not saying it to me. I'm doing whatever you all decide. What I've agreed to meet with him. So all I'm saying, you all continue to discuss, but you're putting him out there in the public that it may be to whatever. I understand what you all are saying here, but let attorney, as you hear me saying, you're putting other information out there, but if the board
which information? He's great for us. He's for us. I don't even think
there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
I'm not for this.
And let me say, trustee, I've known him much longer than you have, but I'm not going to get into who knows what. But it wasn't because of I knew him. The brother is skilled. He's skilled. Okay. He knows what he's doing.
Then that means we shouldn't even. This shouldn't go no further.
Right. If it ain't broke, why are we trying to fix it? If nothing's wrong with it, why are we trying to Get rid of them and get somebody else in.
Here you go.
That's trustee, that's not what this is. When a contract bids, it's just like when a contract is up, when a contract is up, I just like, we have one coming, we had one last year coming up, health. Same thing. They had to come back in and again, because Mr. Cliff had requested to meet with us. And he can meet with us, but I know what he can do. But it's up to you all to do. So I had to alert you all.
Okay, well, meet with him, Miss E.
Look, I had to alert
Well,
you.
Meet with him.
Meet
Meet
with
with him.
I had to alert you. So I've done it and I will continue to alert you. Now,
And if it's a
stop and
problem,
just, then I alerted you.
But Miss E, you know, if it's a problem, all you gotta do is tell Cliff and he'll fix it.
He'll fix it. Yep.
Mayor, if it's a
Trustee
problem, he'll fix it. If he'll fix it. Cliff is not a problem to us in this village. He's actually been a lifesaver. No, so I'm not. Let me see.
So
Because I
just
see-
tell me what you all want to do. That's all I want to know. What you want to do.
Keep Cliff, and that's it, and send it to him.
Well,
You-
you
you
need to
sit
put
down,
it up.
you
You
sit-
need to
you
move
sit
it
down,
to the
sit
next
down.
agenda, and we need to move to do
We
what
move it to the agenda and vote. to
whatever you
keep-
want to do. Just let me know.
Move it
Because
to
that's bang
the,
for our buck like you always do.
that's it.
With me, I think you all are barking up the wrong tree. Put it, you all the legislators, put it on the next agenda and you do what you.
So,
barking up the wrong tree.
wrong tree. So,
Yeah,
No,
because
He's
because
saying by
I'm on the
talking about
ground,
Taylor.
because I'm on the ground. That's, well, I better stop you.
No, Brooks, Sonia, she's talking about.
What I'm
you
talking
barking
about,
up the
I'm
wrong
talking
tree
about in
by
terms
looking
of
at other people. That's what
insurance
she's saying.
industry. He's
so
still.
she says
He's
barking
still-
up the wrong tree by looking at other people. But
Right.
if it's broke, why are we trying to fix it? If
Well,
we are,
because we need to get
all
the
of
best
us
bang for our
Because-
buck. and
but
Because
Competition drives,
trustee,
makes it better.
you need to go back. You need to go back and look at the correspondence for me. I let you all know,
I know, I saw it.
I do that. Now,
Uh-huh.
if,
You let us know.
so, okay, I just wanted you all to know.
Okay.
And the last item 1F, increasing per diem for conferences and training.
For who?
Conferences and training. The per diem has been like $50 since
No.
the 80s. And the cost of living and everything has gone up, so.
What has it been, Mr. Mayor? What has it been?
It has been $50 for over 20 years, and just like everything in life, everything goes out. You go to a conference and training, you go out, $50. That's for the whole day. So the cost of living has gone up. And they just asked, but
No.
go ahead,
I want
trustee.
to ask a question. Now, my question is this. If we can't have a public meeting with the residents in person, and we're gonna travel, now we scared of COVID in University Park, but we're not scared of COVID in other communities or in other states or downtown at conferences. And then we have the nerve, the audacity, and the gall to ask the residents for some extra money for us to spend while we out at a convention, and we won't even meet with them in our city. Now that's ridiculous. That's crazy. So we have to really think out what we're asking for when we're asking ourselves, is it the right time to do so? Because this makes no sense. We don't have lines down our street. I know we're gonna get to that, but how are we gonna ask the residents for extra money for us to get some lunch? No. That's what the $863 is for. Get your own lunch. This is real. This is real. We are already, we're getting better because we are. Economic development is coming, extra money is coming, things are coming, but does it make sense to turn around and change and try to get extra money from the taxpayers that we refuse to meet with? That makes no sense. This makes no sense. We want to go fly high in the sky on their money, on their tax dollars, but we don't want to meet with them. And then we want some extra money to eat some lunch. That makes, I'm not in agreement with that. No.
Okay. Any other questions or comments regarding that?
Just very quickly, Mayor, maybe is it the word or the language? We already, is that 47 for the traveling, or would this be for if we go somewhere?
That's like, say we go to National League of Cities Conference and you're there 3 or 4 days. $50 is not gonna cover your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner.
And usually that would go to the commissioners, right?
That would go to anybody that's going out on the per diem.
Because I know when I was commissioner, we would pay the commissioners. Say if they were gone, and Miss Kelly, I see we in the because I'm a little lost. I'm a disconnect here on. I know we have our travel fees, but I know if you're a commissioner, we would like issue they would come in and see Miss Kelly for a $300 check. Is that one you were saying, like the commissioners for each day? Okay.
No.
That's across the board, not specifically for the commissioner, across the board.
Because I'm gonna be honest. I never got a dime to travel as trustee. I've spent my own money. So I'm not even going down that road. We already know, I kind of, I feel they pay me $853 a month cash after taxes, use it, So, but as far as the commissioners, I mean, we're going to start sending them, right? I see that they're opening up for the police and fire commission to leave on November 1st.
They're going November 1st, and they've got sessions at National League. I mean, at IML this next week.
Okay, because and right now it's at how much? I think let's see. If I left Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that was $300. Am I correct, Miss Kelly? I don't mean to bring you from the clerk. I mean from clerk to finance. But
she got two coats on tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And Mrs. Kelly, how long have we been having this $50 per diem?
It's been in existence for a while, long time. But I know as long as I've been here, it's been $50.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say for the record, I don't agree with the increase. I don't think we should move this forward. I don't think it's the right time to have that conversation.
Okay.
Amen.
What's the majority of the board? With the board's pleasure. Kelly?
Just right quick, Mayor. So then actually, for 4 days, that's 75 a day. Am I calculating that right, Miss Kelly? So we kind of is it how we do it, because I know I knew I got 300s when I left. If
right.
I left, yeah. So I think the money is already there. I think everyone's probably getting it.
The per diem is $50 a day, whether it's a commissioner. It's just across the board. That's what we have in the ordinance. Is $50.
And would that be for also the travel? Is that also the travel?
Mm-hmm.
So then okay, because I know when I'm gone for 4 days, so that's 200. Is the 100 for the travel or something? Because I'm just trying to figure out. I got $300, so I'm just trying to figure out. We're asking for more money. I'm just trying to make sure that.
If you use your car, you're reimbursed travel reimbursement. You get a fee. If you park, you get X number of dollars a day.
Oh, okay. So then that's what we got as commissioners for 3 days. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry. It includes the mileage wherever you travel. Yeah.
Right. Because I don't fly. Yeah, the rig don't roll. Okay. It hit a deer last time. I'm with Trustee Jenkins and Trustee Franklin on this one. I yield my time, man.
All right, if that's the consensus of the board, we can call it a day and making it motion for adjournment. So we leaving that alone. We striking that last one, 5-1F, over and done with. All right.
I think
is there a motion?
Motion, I motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign? None opposed? Have a good night.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.